In this video, I'll be explaining the R.I.C.S. APC Diary. Now, all APC candidates on the 12 or 24-month structured training routes to membership are required to keep a diary, and this video is to help APC candidates understand what's required by the diary and how to complete it. Now, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel, and if you do, remember to hit that bell so you get the notification when we release our new content. Right, let's get into it. For APC candidates on a structured training route to membership, the R.I.C.S. requires that they undertake 24 months of structured training, or 400 days if their experience is less than 5 years, or 12 months or 200 days if their experience is between 5 and 10 years. Now, as soon as you enroll on the APC, you should begin recording your experience. Now remember, you're only required to complete experience in your diary that relates to your core or optional competencies. You're not required to formally record your experience of the mandatory competencies. APC candidates are required to record their experience in the Assessment Resource Centre, or R.I.C.S. Now, when you're entering a new diary entry, you'll need to identify the competency that your experience relates to, and also the level that goes with that competency. You'll also need to identify the start date and the duration that goes with that particular activity. Now, don't record anything less than half a day. Half a day would be the minimum, really, for each diary entry. Now, you'll also need to add a title for the diary entry. Now, the title, try and think of something concise, something that would easily identify that experience if you ever need to come back to it in the future. Now, more obviously, you'd also need to add the narrative for that particular diary entry to explain what you're actually doing that related to that particular level and the competency. Now, one thing I must stress when it comes to the diary is you need to keep it up to date. When you're keeping your diary up to date, it will enable you to track the amount of time you're spending on each of the competencies, which will naturally feed into the meetings you're having with your supervisor and your counsellor. Now, in addition to this, when you get behind, it's very difficult to actually catch up. It can be a lot of work. Now, I'm talking from my own experience here, all those years ago, but more recently, the experience I've had with others when I've been supporting them with their APC. Now, if you took nothing else away from this video other than keeping your diary up to date, then this video will have been worth it. Now, I've seen other advice online that suggests that candidates, they keep a handwritten diary, then transfer that information into R.I.C.S. Now, I can understand the logic of this advice. Sometimes it's easier to commit things to memory when you write them down. But when it comes to the diary, given the sheer volume of information we're actually talking about here, I personally wouldn't recommend doing this. Now, the easiest and quickest way of completing your diary has to be to enter it into R.I.C.S. as you go. Now, also, once it's in there, it allows you to actually filter your diary entries. You can filter by competency, by date, by title, which can be really helpful if you're having to go back and edit things for any particular reason. So that's our video on the APC diary. Now, I hope you found this video useful in understanding the diary and what to put in a diary entry. And if you have enjoyed the video and if you feel it's added some value, please help us out by hitting the thumbs up button just to let YouTube know that you're enjoying the content. And if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you do, hit that bell so you get the notifications. Thank you for watching. It's been great to have you. This has been Constructacademy.